Good morning, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next hour. More leaders call Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. In the first major staffing shake-up of his second term, Donald Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor, also removes Deputy NSA. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will commission Vinnegam International Seaport today, marking India's big leap in global sea trade. This is India's first transshipment hub and first deep-water container terminal. Delhi-NCR experienced sudden change in weather this morning. Strong winds triggered a dust storm in several parts, accompanied by heavy rains. IMD issues yellow alert for the national capital. Day 2 of the Wave Summit in Mumbai will host global media dialogue for the first time. Representatives from 25 countries to attend. Talking hard on Pakistan after Pahalgam terror attack, US Vice President J.D. Vance expressed hope that Pakistan would work with India to track down terrorists who carried out the attack. In an interview with Fox News, Vance made his public remarks on the attack, which left 26 people dead. Using the term terrorist, he said Pakistan, to the extent cooperates with India to make sure the terrorists operating in their territory are hunted down and dealt with.
That Pakistan, to the extent that they're responsible, cooperates with India to make sure that the terrorists, sometimes operating in their territory, are hunted down and dealt with. That's how we hope this unfolds. We're obviously in close contact. We'll see what happens.
Notably, Vance and his family was in India on a 4-day visit when the carnage took place. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Thursday, in his first public remarks on the Pahalgam terror attack, vowed revenge and warned the terrorists. Shah said India will hunt each and every one responsible for Pahalgam terror attack, added that the worst is yet to come for them.
और मैं आज पूरे देश की जनता को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि 90 के दशक से कश्मीर में जो आतंकवाद चला रहे हैं उनके खिलाफ हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जीरो टॉलरेंस का नीति है। हम मजबूती के साथ अपनी लड़ाई लड़े हैं और आज वो ये न समझ ले कि हमारे 27 नागरिकों का जान लेकर ये लड़ाई जीते हो। मैं सभी आतंक फैलाने वालों को कहना चाहता हूं कि लड़ाई का अंत नहीं है, एक मकाम है। हर व्यक्ति को चुन चुन कर जवाब भी मिलेगा, जवाब भी लिया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, Pakistan continues to violate ceasefire by initiating unprovoked small arms firing across the line of control in different sectors of Jammu and Kashmir, as well as the international border in Jammu's Pagwal sector. Indian Army troops responded in a calibrated and proportionate manner. The ceasefire violations along the LOC in Kashmir follow a series of measures taken by India in response to Pahalgam terror attack, in which terrorists shot dead 26 civilians in Baisaran Meadow. And for the latest, DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo joins us live from Srinagar. Vishal, what is the latest that you can share on the Pahalgam terror attack investigation? And how's also the international pressure on Pakistan growing with every passing day?
Well, absolutely. A very good morning to you, Shubhendu. It's quite a cooler and cloudy morning here at the Dal Lake here in Srinagar. And meanwhile, the pressure continues on the Pakistan government, and you heard GD Vance clearly calling them terrorists, and India has all right to defend its territory. Also, the defense minister spoke to his American counterpart yesterday, and they also discussed, and America has also announced all support for the Indian government. So this is the news coming from the international fora. Meanwhile, the DG of the NIA also visited the site at Pahalgam yesterday. He also went to Basran, and after visiting the site, he also held a meeting with the officials of the NIA, and the NIA is camping there at Pahalgam. And in the meeting, the SSP, who is the Senior Superintendent of Police Anantnag, Amritpal Singh, along with other officials of Jammu and Kashmir Police and the NIA also participated in the meeting, and they exchanged and also briefed and debriefed the DG NIA. They also informed him about all the documents collected, which included the electronic surveillance data and also the eyewitnesses account. So the NIA is tightening its news around the overground workers. We heard was more than 2,000 people have been detained, 500 alone in the valley, and this is all being done to tighten the news around the terrorist network in the JNK,
right,
in and around the Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, and Vishal, how's the situation at the LOC and the border in view of the ceasefire violations? Well,
Shubhendu, this is very surprising because it is day 8 and the ceasefire violation continues from the side of Pakistan, different sectors at the line of control and also at the international border. They are witnessing ceasefire violations from Pakistan, and it seems that the ceasefire agreement of 2023 between India and Pakistan is in jeopardy because last Tuesday, this Tuesday, which went by, our Directorate General also, senior officers from the Directorate General Military Intelligence also spoke to their Pakistani counterpart and also objected and warned against the ceasefire violation. Now, whenever there is a weekly meeting, these things are discussed, and the officer is of the rank of either colonel or brigadier of the military intelligence, and Pakistan has been warned, but it seems that Pakistan does not want to relent because it wants to somehow distract the attention of the Indian army and also the security forces, and in an attempt to infiltrate more terrorists or somehow rescue back its terrorists, because an ambush has been laid in the forest in the upper regions. So Pakistan is trying its level best to save its face, both at the national level, which is its own country, and also at the international fora. Shubhendu?
Vishal, thank you for joining us with those updates. A large number of Pakistani nationals were stranded at the Attari border on Thursday, as Pakistan didn't open its own gates for the citizens. As per the latest order from Ministry of Home Affairs, India has extended the deadline for Pakistani nationals to leave the country till further orders. In the order dated April 30th, Ministry of Home Affairs ordered that Pakistani nationals may be allowed to exit India to go into Pakistan from the integrated checkpoint ICP at Attari till further orders with due clearance. And DD India correspondent Gurmeet joins us live from Attari border. What is the situation at Attari at present, and what is the advisory for Pakistani nationals who have not been able to cross the border as yet?
Shubhendu, today is Friday, and it is expected that today large number of Pakistani nationals would reach Attari border to cross over the border. First of all, I would like to show you the visuals of Attari border. Right behind me, you can see the security personnel, the BSF security personnel. They are standing, who would check the credentials of the Pakistani nationals, whosoever comes here to cross over the border. And on the second side, you can see just behind them, there is a boat of ICP Attari on the left side. So all the Pakistani nationals would be given green signal to go inside the integrated checkpost when they come here, when they approach integrated checkpost. But first of all, we should tell our viewers about the Thursday situation, which was a situation of standoff between both of the countries when Pakistan did not open up its side of gates. So Indian authorities continuously they contacted Pakistani authorities, but there was no confirmation from their side whether they would open up their gates or not. And minded, this office of integrated checkpost works from 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening, but for the whole day the Pakistani nationals kept stranded over here. I would like to show you the visuals of the other side of the road where the Pakistani nationals were, otherwise they were standing, and there are few international travelers also. Right there on that side of road you can see few international travelers who are still waiting to cross over the border, but since it is morning and there was a storm and rain during night, so the Pakistani nationals are just about to come another 1 hour, but it is expected that there would be large number of immigration and deportation from the country through integrated checkpost today.
And do you have any update on if there are any Indian nationals still waiting to return home?
There are people, Indian and Pakistani nationals on the both sides. See, if we talk about India, so about 36 to 40 people were waiting here yesterday only to cross over the border. On the same side, as per the inputs that we are getting in, that few Indians are there, and along with this, there are few diplomats and their supporting staff who are waiting on the both sides to cross over the border. So right now, the situation is that on Friday it is expected that Pakistani authorities would confirm that it would open up its gate and the immigration and deportation process would take place. So right now the situation is of the dichotomy whether the Pakistani side would open up its gates or not, because the same situation was pervading on 30th of April for some time, because when afternoon after 2:30 in the evening Pakistani side closed down its gate and did not give entry to the Pakistani nationals towards its side. So when Indian authorities took up the issue with the Pakistani authorities, then a meeting took place, and after that the Pakistani authorities allowed its own nationals to enter inside the country. So yesterday was the second consecutive day when the Pakistani nationals were not given entry in their country.
All right. Gurmeet, appreciate you joining us with those updates. Moving on, the portals of Kedarnath Dham, one of the 12 Jyotirling of Lord Shiva, were open for the devotees amid chants of Har Har Mahadev today. Additional security personnel along the Yatra routes at the temple premises have been deployed. To maintain decorum within the temple premises, authorities have imposed a ban on video recording and reels, aiming to preserve the sanctity of the rituals and prevent overcrowding due to filming activities. Meanwhile, the helicopter service for the 2025 Sri Kedarnath Dham Yatra commenced from Sonprayag in Uttarakhand, offering a convenient travel option for pilgrims. Uttarakhand Chief Minister has urged local residents and businesses to extend warm hospitality to all pilgrims. Still to come on DD India News Hour. After Kerala, Prime Minister will visit Andhra Pradesh with focus on multiple development projects. Get you the latest on what's happening at Waves 2025, Day 2. And wave of anticipation building across the globe as communities gear up to celebrate International Day of Yoga.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. between walkers, money is what money does, and says supply creates its own demand, between the bull's pulls and bear's tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, we'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to visit Kerala today. He will dedicate to the nation Winningham International Deepwater Multipurpose Seaport worth 8,900 crore rupees. It is the nation's first dedicated container transshipment port that represents the transformative advancements being made in India's maritime sector as part of the unified vision of Viksit Bharat or Developed India. Winningham Port, having a strategic importance, has been identified as a key priority project which will contribute in strengthening India's position in global trade, enhance logistics efficiency, reduce reliance on foreign ports for cargo transshipment. Its natural deep draft of nearly 20 meters and location near one of the world's busiest sea trade routes further strengthens India's position in global trade. And later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will visit Andhra Pradesh, where he will inaugurate, lay the foundation stones and dedicate to the nation multiple development projects worth over 58,000 crore rupees in Amravati. In line with his commitment to ensure world-class infrastructure connectivity across the country, Prime Minister will inaugurate 7 national highway projects in Andhra Pradesh, will also dedicate to the nation rail projects aimed at enhancing connectivity and boosting capacity. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of missile test range at Nagayalanka in Andhra Pradesh, worth around 1,460 crore rupees. It will comprise launch center, technical instrumentation facilities, indigenous radars, telemetry and electro-optical systems, enhancing the country's defense preparedness. He will lay the foundation stone of PM Ekta Mall at Madhurabara in Visakhapatnam. It has been envisioned with the objective of fostering national integration, supporting the Make in India initiative, One District, One Product, generating employment opportunities, empowering rural artisans, and enhancing the market presence of indigenous products. Moving on, 4th World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit, or WAVES 2025, began in the financial capital Mumbai on Thursday. Today, day 2, India will host the Global Media Dialogue for the first time with ministerial participation from 25 countries. The dialogue is being organized by Ministry of Information Broadcasting with support from Ministry of External Affairs. It aims to encourage international collaboration, promote best practices, explore avenues for policy alignment, talent exchange, capacity building in global media space. The outcome of the dialogue is expected to be a WAVES declaration by participating countries, reaffirming the importance of international cooperation in the media and entertainment sector, laying the groundwork for future engagements and partnerships. And DD India correspondent Shyama Mishra joins us live from Mumbai. Shyama, what can we look forward to on day 2, particularly the deliberations between international delegations?
Shubhendu, you've already mentioned about this global media dialogue, which is going to take place today, and we are understanding that over 60 countries are going to be participating in this. The delegates, the representatives and the participants would be there in it, and we are understanding that our the Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, he would be there. Also Ashwini Vaishnav, the Minister of Information and Broadcasting and Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, they all would be there in this particular session. You've also mentioned that the deliberations that will take place in this particular session is likely to have an impact as a declaration, and that will be called as a WAVES declaration. So we are understanding this is on the lines of G20 and other international forums that we see that are instrumental in policy making and showing a direction for the future policies. We are also going to be seeing star-studded day to day as well. where Aishwarya Rai, Kareena Kapoor, these would be coming and they'll be there in the fireside chat during the day. We are also having Mayank Shekhar, he's the critic. He'll be moderating one session where Amir Khan and representative from the Prime Focus, then from other organizations, they would be there. We are also going to have Richard Keris. He's the NVIDIA's head person and he'll be also giving a presentation. Remember, Shubhendu, these people were there yesterday as well. The NVIDIA, YouTube and Adobe people were there yesterday as well, and then we are expecting them to be there throughout the 4-day event, because it is going to be an important day, important event for them as well, because they'll be trying to woo the Indian people, the Indian participants as well. Yesterday we did see a very action-packed day, apart from Prime Minister leading the day yesterday and inaugurating several sessions and even the Bharat Pavilion. Today we are going to have a Creatosphere, the CIC, which is the Create in India Challenge. We are going to be witnessing a red carpet for these participants, and they were the shortlisted participants. The number that we were told is above 1,000, and these people would be there at the red carpet, and it will be like a celebrity moment for them. So the whole day is definitely today as well going to be an action-packed day, and we are looking forward to it, covering various sessions and interacting with some of the most intelligent minds from the media and entertainment industry.
That's right. Much to look forward to, Shyama. And while leaders from the media and entertainment sector deliberate, brainstorm new ideas and trends, great opportunities for young creators to learn from the best in the fraternity and also engage with one another.
Definitely, Shubhendu. This is something that we have been talking since day one of the inception of Waves, and today and since yesterday we are seeing that there were so many participants who are connecting with these people, with the stalwarts of industry. And usually it is not accessible for them to have such stalwarts for their talking or for their mentoring, but here there is a place facilitated for them. There is a platform made specially for them, where the who's who from the industry, from the respective sectors, they'll be coming and mentoring these people. So amidst the master classes, amidst the Creatosphere, we are going to be seeing some heavy brainstorming sessions. And even when we are talking about the various challenges, we are seeing that the outcome for these participants, for example, the participants from the EDM Resonate, they'll be performing in front of the celebrity, in front of the audience, and try to woo them and try to captivate them with their piece, with their project. So they'll be doing the DJing. Apart from that, we are also understanding that Comics Creatorship Championship people, the finalists, would also be getting a chance for their work to get collaborated. All the 10 participants will be getting a chance, and their work would be collaborated, and it will be taken forward, it will be taken ahead. So a lot of things are happening over here. We are reshaping the way how media and entertainment industry works, and we are also going to be working towards in the direction how the world sees India as a global hotspot for media and entertainment industry. Also remember, Shubhendu, it's not just India which is going to be giving out the ideas. We are also understanding that there's so much more other countries that have to offer, and sharing the best practices in such events is a major thing. So here also, even in the GMD, we will be seeing the sharing of the best practices, capacity building, and how one can learn from the other and other can learn from one person, from one country rather. So this all would be happening, and like it is said, it is a melting pot. Waves is exactly that. And during the 4-day event, today is the second day, during the 4-day event, we are expecting some major outcome to come out, and it will definitely help in shaping the policy of the future for the media and entertainment.
Right, as you put it, melting pot indeed for global talent and creativity. Thank you, Shyama, for getting us those updates from Waves in Mumbai. India's Delhi, national capital region, experienced relief from heat wave on Friday morning. This morning, as severe thunderstorms and rains brought the temperatures down. India Met Department has forecast rains and thunderstorms for the next 3 days, with a yellow alert issued for the national capital. Waterlogging has been reported in several parts of Delhi, including Lajpat Nagar, R.K. Puram and Dwarka. Meanwhile, northwest India, including Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, are expected to experience light to moderate rainfall, strong winds due to western disturbance. A dust storm accompanied with gusty winds is also very likely at isolated places over Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Punjab and Rajasthan. In other news, as the calendar inches closer to June 21st, a palpable wave of anticipation is building across the globe. From bustling city squares to serene mountain retreats, communities are gearing up to celebrate International Day of Yoga, a testament to enduring appeal and profound impact of this ancient Indian practice.
This United Nations designated day, born from a recognition of yoga's profound universal benefits, has evolved into a vibrant global movement. The significance of yoga, far transcending its perceptions as mere exercise, lies in its holistic approach to health. Beyond the tangible physical and mental advantages, yoga fosters a crucial mind-body connection. The synchronized movements, controlled breathing, and meditative elements cultivate a heightened sense of self-awareness. This inward focus can lead to greater emotional resilience and a more balanced perspective on life's challenges. The global embrace of International Yoga Day is a powerful illustration of its universal appeal. The inaugural celebration 10 years ago etched its mark in history with a remarkable gathering in New Delhi. An astounding 35,985 individuals participated in a mass yoga demonstration, representing 84 nationalities, earning India 2 Guinness World Records for the largest yoga lesson and the most nationalities in a single yoga session. Since then, the fervour has only grown. From the mindful flows on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro to sunrise salutations on the Eiffel Tower, the diversity of celebrations underscores yoga's ability to transcend cultural and geographical boundaries. This year, the preparations are in full swing. Governments are announcing national-level events, yoga organizations are scheduling workshops and retreats, and communities are organizing local gatherings in parks, schools, and workplaces. Sharing India's vision for a healthier world, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the theme of this year's Yoga Day, which has been kept as Yoga for One Earth, One Health. As the world prepares to unroll its mats once again, the International Day of Yoga serves as a potent reminder of the ancient wisdom that continues to offer profound benefits in our modern lives. Bureau Report, DD India.
International Workers' Day, also known as Labour Day or May Day, is celebrated on May 1st, recognizing the hard work and contributions of workers, people who keep the world running. The tea industry of Assam is one such sector where labour-intensive and requires a fine selection of human hands to pluck the best of leaves. Our correspondent Subina Roy gives us a sneak peek into how they celebrated this day.
May Day is a special occasion for the tea tribes of Assam. It is the day of celebration with women, men and children ready to mark a special day in their traditional attires. The music of dhol makes a memorable companion as people from different tea gardens take out a Shobha Jatra or procession.
You see, today is the International May Day. It is not only tea tribe, it is the international festival. Everywhere in the world, all workers celebrate their glorious occasion, this festival May Day. We are here in Assam, those are working in the tea state. We are always celebrate this glorious May Day every year.
The tea tribes of Assam comprise 20% of the state's population, and they have been an important part of the state demography for more than 100 years. Coming from different parts of India during colonial era, they are now an unalienable part of the social and cultural fabric of the state. This melting pot of different cultures and tea gardens came to be known as a new culture of Bagania Manu, and their Jhumur dance is a part of Assam's unique identity.
We are in the exotic and verdant tea gardens of Assam, and today is Labour Day. Labour Day is a big occasion for the people, especially for the tea tribes of Assam and the people work in the tea gardens of Assam. Today is a day of celebration where the women dance, tour dance, and it's all about merrymaking and rejoicing their day, but also looking forward towards a better development of the workers for their better future. We dedicate you Pragati, Selina Roy, India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Trump turns to US Supreme Court as court rules against his use of Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans. China evaluates American offer for negotiations on tariffs, demands sincerity from Washington. And London sees the hottest start to May in recorded history.
Welcome to Jaipur.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Our top stories. More global leaders call on Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. In the first major staffing shake-up of the second term, Donald Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor, also removes the Deputy NSA. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will commission Birmingham International Seaport today, marking India's big leap in global sea trade. This is India's first transshipment hub, first deep water container terminal. Delhi National Capital Region experienced sudden change in weather this morning. Strong winds triggers dust storm in several parts, accompanied by heavy rains. IMD issues yellow alert for the national capital. Day 2 of the WAVE Summit in Mumbai will host global media dialogue for the first time. Representatives from over 60 countries to attend. US President Donald Trump dismissed National Security Advisor Mike Waltz on Thursday amid a controversy involving a chat group leak, announcing plans to nominate him as the next ambassador to the United Nations. In his first major cabinet reshuffle of the new term, President Trump named Secretary of State Marco Rubio as the interim National Security Advisor after Mike Waltz's departure. Trump praised Mike Waltz for prioritizing national interests throughout his military, congressional and advisory roles as he announced his reassignment on social media platform Truth. The 51-year-old ex-Special Forces officer and Florida congressman had faced uncertainty since the Signalgate scandal broke out in March this year. Waltz served a little more than 100 days in Trump's second term. And DD India correspondent Akshay Dongare joins us more on this from Delhi. Akshay, Donald Trump is known to be not very consistent with his NSAs. Connect the dots for us about the latest reshuffle in the Trump cabinet.
Well, Shubhendu, the kind of scandal that involved Mike Waltz in the recent days, especially the group chat that also were leaked because there was a journalist involved in the chat. That was quite a shocker, not just for Mike Waltz or the journalist, but the entire world. Because a war plan getting discussed on a private platform, that to an application, a third-party application, not even of the United States government, raised a lot of eyebrows about the security apparatus and the kind of protocols there are to communicate in today's modern times, when there are all over you will find these kind of chat applications, and even though many are calling themselves encrypted, but sharing war plans on such a platform has really shaken up the entire U.S. administration, especially during the first 100 days. This scandal happened involving a war plan in Yemen. So it was certain that there will be some action taken. Internal proofs were already going on to ascertain that what exactly happened. And even though Mike Waltz has been removed from his earlier position, he will be still in the administration. That's the big point coming in. That goes on to show that Trump has, to protect Mike Waltz, he has gone, several steps ahead than he would have been for many of the cases. So what we are seeing at this point in time clearly is once again, shake-up in the Trump administration, and these kind of shake-ups, they usually happen. They happen including Mike Pompeo. They happened including several other administrators in the earlier term of Donald Trump, when even the vice presidents were questioned for a lot of decisions, and as far as the administration is concerned, they were constantly being changed. So this seems like a strategy.
Okay.
But Mike Waltz at the UN, and then Marco Rubio as the interim, also goes on to show that there may be a shift as far as the policy of the Trump government is concerned.
Right. Akshay, also as unpredictable as the Trump administration is, any insights into what are the days ahead? 100 days are over. The cabinet has been reshuffled. There's been a pushback on the tariff and immigration policies. What can one expect in the days ahead?
Well, as far as the 100 days are concerned, there were a lot of loud days actually. Shubhendu, if you talk about it, there were a lot of talks of tariff. There were talks of a liberation day in particular, when we talk about the day when tariffs were announced. Then tariffs were implemented, then they were rolled back, then some sectors were given an exemption for a few years. Many countries were given exemption for about 90 days. China's tariffs were taken to an unprecedented level, and in fact unimaginable level. So all of that has happened, but how much of it is working out, that will be a major factor in deciding that what exactly are going to be the next steps. But there has been a lot of loud noises, but when it comes to action, they have often been seen as being reversed when they were not worked out.
Right.
So it seems that while there were major decisions taken, perhaps those decisions were not discussed well, or there was a lack of far-sightedness as far as these decisions are concerned. So perhaps rectification of many of the errors and building on what has worked may seem like a major strategy for the Trump administration ahead for the next year.
Akshay, thank you for those inputs. And US manufacturing fell for the second consecutive month in April as tariffs on imported goods stretched supply chains, keeping factory gate prices high and driving some firms to lay off workers. Study released on Thursday by Institute of Supply Management reveals that manufacturing index slipped to 48.7% in April. That's a touch below its level in March and below the 50-point mark, separating expansion from contraction. The survey covers Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement, which ushered in sweeping duties on most imports from the United States. Trade partners, including raising duties on Chinese goods to about 145%, sparking a trade war with Beijing. There were no sign in the survey that factories continued to front-run imports last month, though fear of higher prices from tariffs could have prompted businesses to get in their orders sooner. After months of bluster and huge tariffs on both sides, Beijing and Trump administration are softening their stance. China said It is evaluating a US offer for negotiations on tariffs, but wanted Washington to show sincerity and be ready to scrap levies that have roiled global markets and supply chains. Punishing US tariffs that have reached 145% on many Chinese products came into force in April, while Beijing has responded with a fresh 125% duties on imports from the United States. Beijing's Commerce Ministry on Friday confirmed the US had reached out and that it was currently evaluating the offer. Chinese exports soared more than 12% in March as businesses rushed to get ahead of the swinging tariffs. Tokyo's envoy for US tariff talks in Washington, Ryuichi Akazawa, said the second round of negotiations between the two countries had been frank and constructive on Thursday. Japan, a key US ally and its biggest investor, is subject to the same 10% baseline tariffs imposed on most nations, plus steeper levies on cars, steel and aluminium. Akazawa stated that progress was made towards mutually beneficial deal, which would be presented as a package once finalized. In early April, Donald Trump announced 24% reciprocal tariffs on Japan, but paused them for 90 days. President Donald Trump's administration asked the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday to intervene in its bid to strip temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants. A United States judge on Thursday issued a permanent injunction preventing the administration of Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelans from South Texas. It follows similar, if temporary, orders barring the government's use of the law as Trump seeks the rapid removal of undocumented immigrants from the country. Trump had issued an executive proclamation on March 15th to invoke the law against members of the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. He argued that the gang was perpetrating an invasion and predatory incursion into the U.S., thereby justifying such extreme measures. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Thursday said that she had a very good conversation with U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. Sheinbaum said the two agreed that their country's top finance, treasury, trade and economy officials would continue working to improve the trade balance and advance outstanding issues that would benefit both the countries. The call comes 2 days after Donald Trump announced a significant shift in its tariff policy, specifically aimed at easing restrictions on the automotive sector. The policy adjustment represents a substantial relief for Mexico, which operates under the USMCA free trade agreement.
It was a very good conversation. Although there is no specific agreement, the important thing is that we are working on it. The United States government and we desire to reach even better agreements on trade matters. The US government is very interested in reducing what it calls the deficit with Mexico. For some time now, we have been proposing that we look for ways throughout the economy to buy more from the United States and, in other words, to have even more trade than we currently have on both sides for the benefit of both countries.
In other news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed an attack near Syria's presidential palace in Damascus early on Friday, reiterating his vow to protect members of the Druze community. This marks the second Israeli strike in as many days amid sectarian violence. Earlier on Wednesday, in Syria's southern province of Ceuta, heartland of the Druze minority, 40 Druze fighters were killed, with 35 dying in an ambush on the road to Damascus. Israel's strikes have further complicated the interim president Ahmed al-Shara's efforts to stabilize the country. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised the minerals agreement with the United States as genuinely equal and fair deal on Thursday, calling it the first outcome of his Vatican meeting with US President Trump. Zelensky said minerals deal opens the way for modernization of industries in Ukraine. US and Ukraine have signed a natural resources deal allowing Washington access to Kiev's rare minerals deposits. The agreement gives US preferential access to new Ukrainian natural resources deal, but does not automatically hand Washington a share of Ukraine's mineral wealth or any of its gas infrastructure.
It is not truly an equitable agreement. one that creates opportunities for substantial investment in Ukraine as well as significant modernization of Ukraine's industries and, equally importantly, its legal practices. The agreement does not recognize any debt, and a fund is being set up, a reconstruction fund that will invest in Ukraine and generate returns here. This means joint work with America based on fair terms, allowing both Ukraine and the United States, which supports us in our defense, to make money in partnership.
Угода значно змінилась в процесі підготовки.
South Korea's acting president Lee Joo-ho held an emergency National Security Council meeting on Friday vowed to safeguard national security. Speaking at the security meeting, Lee said there must be no lapse in readiness against any possible North Korean aggression. Education Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Lee Joo-ho took over instead as acting president from midnight, becoming the fourth person to act as South Korea's head of state since December last year. On Thursday, Prime Minister Han Duck-seo, who had been serving as the acting president, however, Han on Friday said he would join the race to become the country's next president. Han was serving his second stint as the head of the cabinet when he became acting president on December 14th, after the then President Yoon Suk-yeol was impeached by the parliament for his short-lived move to impose martial law in the country. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok resigned on Thursday, just minutes before the National Assembly was set to vote on the motion to impeach him. Following Choi's resignation, National Assembly Speaker Vance halted proceedings on the impeachment motion vote, saying the government had been informed of Choi's dismissal. The June 3rd vote will decide who replaces impeached ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was removed from the office over his ill-fated declaration of martial law last year. Some weather update. The UK has experienced its hottest start to the month of May on record on Thursday, with temperatures reaching 28 degrees Celsius. Britain's Met Office reported that temperatures at London's Kew Gardens reached record-breaking levels, officially marking the warmest start to May ever recorded in the country. The unseasonable warm weather drew crowds of residents and tourists to parks and city streets to enjoy the sunshine. The previous record high temperatures for first day of May was just over 27 degrees Celsius at Losmarth in Scotland in 1990. Still to come on DD India News Hour. India's finance minister hails record high GST collections in April. Fourth seed Coco Gauff thrashes Poland's Iga Swiatek to reach the finals of Madrid Open 2025. Talk about India's legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's turn to some business updates. Apple CEO Tim Cook said India will play a major role in making iPhones destined for the American market. Cook stated that tariffs are disrupting Apple's supply chain and the company is shifting production to countries like India and Vietnam to mitigate this impact. The move is part of Apple's efforts to minimize the aftermath of US tariffs on its sales and profit margins under President Donald Trump's trade policies. According to researchers, Apple ramped up iPhone production in India towards the end of the quarter, while Vietnam will be the origin for most iPads, iMacs, Apple Watches and AirPods sold in US. China will remain the main production hub for non-US markets. Tit-for-tat exchanges have been hefty. US levies imposed on China, with Beijing settling retaliatory barriers on US imports. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has hailed the record GST collections in April, saying it showcases the resilience of Indian economy and effectiveness of cooperative federalism. In a social media post, the minister expressed deepest gratitude to the taxpayers whose contributions and faith in the GST architecture drives the nation's progress. She said their contributions reflect a shared commitment to building a developed India. Gross GST collections for April witnessed a 12.6% increase over the gross collection in April last year, while net GST collections saw 9.1% growth compared to last year. Let's now turn to all the action from the world of sports. Let's first talk about Madrid Open. Some updates from the tournament, what's happening there. Fourth seed Coco Gauff dominated Poland's Iga Swiatek 6-1, 6-1 in a mere 64 minutes in the semi-finals on Thursday night. Gauff reached the finals at the WTA 1000 event for the first time and is on the precipice of her first title this year. Meanwhile, top seed Aryna Sabalenka continued her Madrid Open mastery with a 6-3, 7-5 semi-final victory over number 17 seed Elina Svitolina on Thursday night. Sabalenka needed 1 hour 32 minutes to hold off Svitolina, ending the Ukraine's undefeated clay court run this year. With the win, Sabalenka is heading to her fourth Madrid final. India concluded its campaign at the Asian Under-15 and Under-17 Boxing Championship with 43 medals, finishing second in the overall tally in Amman, the capital of Jordan. Final day of the tournament saw the Under-17 contingent of India bag 4 more gold medals. All the 4 medals were won by women boxers. Indian athletes bagged a total of 15 gold, 6 silver, 22 bronze medals. India finished just 1 medal behind Kazakhstan, which topped the table. The Under-15 contingent fetched the highest number of golds in the competition, with 11 led by the girls' team, who swept 10 of the 15 available gold medals. Legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray revolutionized Indian cinema. Born on May 2, 1921 in the then Calcutta, Ray was the man of many talents. His debut film, Pather Pachali, is a masterpiece and still inspires filmmakers worldwide. Bestowed with India's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna, Satyajit Ray is also the first Indian to have received the honorary Oscar in the year 1992. DD India's Tanvi Taneja gets us more.
Such were the incredible celluloid skills of Satyajit Ray that renowned Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa once said that not to have seen the cinema of Satyajit Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon. Not only did Ray hold audiences spellbound with his storytelling skills, he also catered to a diverse audience. In his early years, Ray worked as a visualizer and illustrator for advertising agencies, using that experience to hone his skills in visual storytelling. These experiences, along with his literary lineage and innate artistic talents, laid the foundations for the creation of the genius filmmaker in Satyajit Ray. Inspired by the works of Western filmmakers like Jean Renoir and Vittorio De Sica, Satyajit Ray made his first film, Pather Panchali, in 1955. Pather Panchali went on to define Indian cinema and won 11 international awards, including the Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival. The film, along with Aparajito and Apur Sansar, formed the Apur trilogy, a compelling Bengali series. Ray's attention to humanism and his meticulous control over his films set him apart as one of the greatest filmmakers of the 20th century.
Kajol, chole esho. Chole esho. Kajula!
Dadu bogbe.
Dadu jante parbe na. Dadu ke ami bolbo na. Esho.
Apart from the Apur trilogy, Jalsa Ghar, Mahanagar, Charulata, Janaranya and Aguntuk showcased Ray's ability to capture everyday life with complete authenticity and deep sincerity. Ray's versatility, for he was also a noted author, is showcased in the characters he created in the form of Detective Feluda and Professor Shonko. Besides winning a record 36 Indian National Film Awards and numerous awards at international film festivals, Ray was also the first Indian filmmaker to receive an honorary Academy Award in the year 1992. Eminent Iranian filmmaker Majid Majideh are among the numerous film personalities who have expressed their deep respect and profound admiration for Ray's cinematic creations. Today, on his birth anniversary, we once again remember and deeply appreciate this great filmmaker's cinematic skills and timeless celluloid creations. Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and you can download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.